We begin here in Washington, where President Donald Trump has once again threatened India with higher tariffs. In a post on Truth Social on Monday, the president said he would raise tariffs on Indian goods from the current 25% over New Delhi's continued purchase of Russian oil. He claimed India was buying massive amounts of Russian oil and then allegedly reselling it for big profits. The president then took it a step further, accusing New Delhi of not caring about the number of people being killed by the Russian war machine in Ukraine. However, the president did not specify what new tariff levels India could face. In a statement late Monday, New Delhi hit back at the U.S. and the European Union, calling out their hypocrisy. The Indian government said that America's targeting of India was quote unquote unjustified and unreasonable.
India has been targeted by the United States and the European Union for importing oil from Russia after the commencement of the Ukraine conflict. In fact, India began importing from Russia because traditional supplies were diverted to Europe after the outbreak of the conflict.
New Delhi also pointed out that not only did Washington encourage such trade previously, but both the European Union and the United States were continuing to actively trade with Russia in excess of the amount that India does. New Delhi says the U.S. was continuing to import uranium hexafluoride, important for its nuclear industry, palladium for its electric vehicle industry, as well as fertilizers and chemicals from Russia. Official U.S. data has shown that goods and services trade with Russia totaled an estimated $5.2 billion last year. New Delhi also hit out at the European Union for double standards, citing 67.5 billion euros, or roughly $70 billion in bilateral trade with Moscow last year. India also noted that European imports of liquefied natural gas reached 16.5 million tons in 2024, surpassing the last record of 15.21 tons in 2022.
India's imports are meant to ensure predictable and affordable energy costs to the Indian consumer. It is revealing that the very nations criticizing India are themselves indulging in trade with Russia.
India's statement came just days after the European Union exempted Kazakhstan to export coal through Russian ports despite sanctions on Moscow. Europe and Russia have reportedly continued to trade not just in energy, but also in fertilizers, nickel, as well as iron and steel. Meanwhile, back in the United States, President Trump's post sparked calls from Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene to end Indian H-1B visas, blaming them for taking American jobs. Senator Lindsey Graham also lauded the president's efforts to end a bloodbath in Ukraine, which Donald Trump had promised to end in the first 24 hours of his second term, but has so far been unsuccessful at ending. However, Russia criticized President Trump's decision to raise tariffs on India, and the Kremlin called U.S. efforts to force countries to sever trading relations with Moscow illegitimate and stressed that sovereign countries have the right to choose their own trading partners. So far, India has committed to take all necessary measures to safeguard its national interests and economic security. And now Washington and New Delhi are locked in a game of chicken, and only time will tell which side will blink first.